Everybody loves an overload pressure, and one team in the NFL that really leans into them is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, they can run simulated pressures out of them. They can run 5-man pressures out of them. The one that we are going to look is a linebacker pick pressure. They're going to use both of their off-ball linebackers, so they're going to have an overload side, and in that kind of space between the shade nose to the wide 5, they're going to have both of their off-ball linebackers, and they're going to use the Mike linebacker to set a pick that's going to free up the Will linebacker. We're going to look at 2 clips from the Eagles game. I'm going to break it down for you, and we're going to explain how this works and why this is a really cool pressure to look at. First, let's discuss what a boss front looks like. So what we have here is bigs on same side. So we have all of our bigs or defensive linemen all set to one side of the offensive line. Now, remember, against the Eagles, Lane Johnson is not in the game. So here's your donkey. That's who they're going to go after. Typically, when you set these boss fronts up, you want to set them to the best tackle. That means you are going to get the isolation away from the overload side. That's what we get here. Now, there's a bunch of different things that you can do out of this, but what the Buccaneers are going to do is they're actually going to set up a pick. Now, typically how you're going to get this is you are going to get kind of combo protection. So everybody's going to slide to the boss side with the center. So we're going to get a slide to our overload side, and then we're going to combo block out on this side. Again, you're isolating your best edge rusher. So you can see that the Buccaneers really have all of their bigs to one side. These are all interior defensive linemen that can play anywhere from a 3 to a 5, and that's where we have 98 right here. We have both of our linebackers. Now, we are mugged away from the running back. Now, what this means is the running back is going to check the A gap and then make sure that 52 does not work through. This is where the pick comes into place. So the Buccaneers have this thing completely set up. They know that they're going to get a 3-man slide to the defensive right. They know that they're man for man on the left. So they know that they're going to get a nice alley where 52 is going to work in and the back is going to meet him there. Now, we see this in double A pressures where you can pick the center and the back at the same time. This is just using a different way of doing that. We're actually going to pick the guard and we're not going to pick the center. So again, we're going to get the running back stepping up, and 52, he's going to set the pick. His job is to work to the inside hip of this guard. What that's going to do is it's going to now bring the running back inside. We're going to go ahead and drop out our defensive end, and we're going to work outside. That's going to really pull this slide. So the center's going to work, and then we got the guard working with him. We're going to eliminate the best pass blocker that they have, Mailata, which is going to be the left tackle, and we're going to really float this guard. We're going to make him work all by himself. So as the ball is snapped, you can see 54 does a really good job of working. This looks like he's going to pick the tackle. What he's really trying to do is get this guard to overset. Now, notice how the nose is going to engage in the center, and then he's going to really just work to the face of the guard or work through the inside. This is the beauty of this, is that you don't need him to necessarily work into the B gap. You're going to have a defensive end rolling over here. So let's say they hand the ball off on a draw. He's going to work out wide. Yeah, there's a B gap lane. He can fit off of that. So you can see here that we already have our lane opening up. So we have 54 working to the near hip of the tackle. We have 52 working to the near hip of the guard. 43 is going to isolate himself and really just run the fish hook. That's his job. That's why you call it that. Run the fish hook and eliminate the right tackle here. Now, the running back's vision sees 52 working into his gap. So what he has to do is work to meet him. The moment that he is getting, this is where timing really comes into this. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, right? The moment that we see that the running back has fully engaged on the linebacker. He is now in a pick position to block the left guard, and now 54 is going to wrap back around. Notice how 95 has his head inside. He's going to work outside, and then you have the nose demanding a double team. You are going to now charge the center, and now you are going to work with that left guard. That left guard's keeping an eye on 95 in case he tries to pop through here. You can see now that we have a hit call on the tight end, and we have our wrap player that's going to play here with our defensive end. You also have a left tackle being attacked by the best speed rusher on the team, 43. Okay, so as this plays out, you can see we're going to get the pick. We now have eliminated 2 blockers. 54 now has direct access. This is why you make the running back block. You make the running back block because the running back knows he's less in tune to being able to shift things around, right? The 5 offensive linemen, they work games all the time. But when the running back sees his guy blitzing, he's going to pick him up. So this actually eliminates both of these blockers. Now, look, they're sitting here saying, yes, we won. We got it. The problem is you have 54 who's got direct access to the quarterback. Your best speed rusher is attacking the donkey. We now have 2 guys on the quarterback. We have 2 eliminated blockers with the nose, and now 95 has shifted outside, and he's taking the left tackle. There's nowhere for this quarterback to go. Even if he wanted to slip it to the shallow, you can see 98 is going to be right there. That guy's going to get annihilated. So from the beginning, let's go back to the beginning and let's watch this thing all the way through. 52's who we're looking at. He's going to work. You can see this is a beautiful look at a combination block. You can see the running back working to 52. 52 is taking the near hip of the guard, picking him, making sure even if he gets hit, he is eliminating 2 blockers. 54 works around, and now we are going to meet at the quarterback. 54 ends up making this sack with 43. Again, we're picking on the donkey. We're attacking the protections. We know what we're going to get from the Eagles, and 54 and 52 set this up nicely to get a sack. Now let's take one more look at this that the Buccaneers called later in the game. So we'll get the exact same setup later in the game. We have our bigs on same side. Now they have Diaby over here. We're still attacking the donkey on the line. Remember, Lane Johnson is not in the game. We're going to get our combo blocking. The only difference is 52 is just changing the angle. So all that we have here, and again, this is how good the NFL is. You have to kind of change, even though you're going to run the same path, you got to change this up a bit. So 52 is trying to give the illusion that it's going to be man coverage. Now remember, the Buccaneers run boss fronts all the time. They have a bunch of different things that they can do out of it. I've got, if you're looking for a bunch of information on boss front, head to the clinic archive on matchquarters.com. I've got plenty of stuff right there. But we're going to get the exact same thing. But even though this doesn't technically work out the way that we want it to and perfectly like it did in the end, but the fact that we have kind of set it up really helps 54 right here come open later on in this. And so we're going to walk through this. So again, we're going to get the combination blocking. We get the snap. You can see right here, we have our combo blocking and we have our man blocking. So we are going to go ahead and take man-to-man over here. Okay. The guard kind of sets a little further inside, kind of expecting something here. You can see David has his eyes inside. You can see that the nose is going to be able to kind of occupy that center, and he's demanding the double team. He's asking for the double team. 90's going to attack, and then he's going to rip outside, and then we're going to get the rat right here with 98. Now, 52 takes a little bit of more of an open path. He doesn't, because of the angle, and this is why I think cheat for success. Had he have probably been a little bit further inside, this would have helped the angle out a little bit. So 52 is actually working through, and the running back actually gets to him before he can get to the guard. So he primes for contact, and he just decides, I'm just going to run through the running back. And so you can see as 54 works back, he's going to get his eyes back to the quarterback. So he kind of bails on this whole thing. But look at this path that we have. We have someone that's not really responsible for anybody. We already have our one-on-one edge set. We have our fish hook. You can see that the quarterback feels his presence, and now he has a nice alley to step up into. The problem is David is going to wrap around, and that's who he's going to meet. He's not going to be able to escape out to his left. So as the play continues, you can see 54 wraps around, and then this is the moment that everybody realizes we have a guy unblocked, and this is the same concept that they used earlier, and we didn't block it. You can see that the defensive end beat the left tackle. You can see David is right there, and we're going to get a vice right here on Hurts. So David ends up, you can see that he just pump fakes. He feels his leg go down, and you can see David ends up. And I think this actually ends up being a fumble. Diaby does a really good job. Watch him punch that ball out, tomahawk that ball out. That's really nice. I can't tell if he got it back or not. But again, let's go back to the beginning. It's all set up. We get combo blocking. You can see the guard is feeling this. He knows. So even the second time, and really what they're probably going to say in this is still that running back is going to eat you anyway because he's a running back and you make the running backs block. So go ahead and take a little bit better of an angle. But even if you do and you get there, hit that inside, really pick that guard, and then he's going to loop back around off of what he sees. And again, we get that exact same look. You can see, okay, that he feels that the running back is going to take this. He gets his eyes back. Again, we still get the pick, even though 50 Vita Vea feels like, okay, I can beat this double team. And that's the nice thing here too, is a lot of times you do want a point setter. But when you have a guy that can eat double teams and he can just destroy them, you let him cook. And that's what they do with Vea. You can see he feels like he's got this. He's going to press the pocket. We have our fish hook that's coming around. Okay, so they're going to wash him down. It still creates a nice alley for the wraparound to get there. We've set a wall here. We've set a wall here. The quarterback really has one avenue of escape. And that's really what you want. When you play these running quarterbacks, you want to create the alley. Give them the illusion of an escape lane only to then hit them with a wrap, which is exactly what happens here with the Buccaneers. And we saw this twice with this and from these boss alignments. 54 just needs to go ahead and wrap, and then you end up getting a sack. So we've seen 2 sacks off of these boss alignments. We get predictable protections, and we're able to take advantage of it with a pick blitz using the 2 off-ball linebackers. This is beautiful. Todd Bowles is always a must watch when it comes to blitz presentation and blitz schemes.